Hey folks, it's Woody here over at USA Made Blade, and just coming to you from the shop to talk to you today about the new Hinderer 3-inch. We've had quite a different few models. This one happens to be the slicer. We've got them in Spanto and in Spear Point. So we're going to kind of cover the ones that we've got a little bit and tell you guys what's different about them and all that. So let's get away from looking at my ugly mug and get you guys a closer up view of the knife and talk about it a little bit. So to start off, I want to kind of just show you guys, if you've ever owned a Hinderer 3-inch before, one of the older models, the Gen 3, Gen 2, or Gen 1, kind of the differences that you can expect out of the Gen 4, really just going to show you what's different. And the main thing that you're going to notice right out of the box is, especially with the new tri-way pivot system, which we'll get to in a little bit, these fly open. These fire really fast. So they're just amazing flippers. So what I've done, just to show you that it's not just one, Hinderer is very consistent across the board with how these fire. I've lined up a bunch of different ones. These are Spear Point, Spantos, and Slicers. So just gonna open them all real quick and show you guys just how easily these all fly out. And while I'm doing that, something else that you're gonna notice that's different is the finish on the stonewashed. We're going to get into that. I'll show you when we get down to the last one here. But notice how these all just absolutely rock it out. Doesn't matter. You can. I'm a light switcher, but you can push these open, push button them open. They all just have amazing detents and fly right out. So let me get the last one. This one's mine. Something you're going to notice also right out of the box, besides the fact that it flies out, is the stonewashed. It is, look at that, reflecting off the ceiling there. They are definitely much more polished up. It's definitely much more of a polished finish just on the blade. On the handle, it still looks pretty much the same as it has on others, but this is definitely much more of a polished finish, and it even feels smoother, to be honest. So on the stonewashed ones, you definitely got a higher polish. I think that's going to help with any corrosion resistance problems, which you don't get much of with 20 CV steel. So from here, let's take one apart and talk to you guys about the tri-way pivot system. So when you break your knife down, you're going to see the first thing you're going to notice, and the big difference between the past 3-inchers is obviously going to be the fact that there's a bearing here. The other thing that's new on this is, with that bearing being in there, these are also the first knives from Hinderer to come out in the 3-inch model that have the steel lock part insert. So as Rick calls it, I think it's industry is starting to call it a puck. And anyway, detent on these has just been fantastic, sitting really tight and makes the knife fire really, really well. But like I said, you're going to notice the bearings in here. Now, we've discussed this before, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but when you get your box, in the back of the box is going to be your packet, and it's going to have the instructions on how to change out your tri-way pivot system. And then within here, you're going to have your spacers, and you're going to have your phosphor bronze washers, and you're going to have your Teflon washers. So that's the cool thing. It's you know, like I've said before, it's Rick taking it to a new level of make it your own. Now you get to choose which kinds you want. So this is what we look like when it's broken down, and just kind of take you from there. And we're going to come back here and finish up just giving you guys some comparison with some other knives for those that have never had a 3-inch Hinderer, to give you an idea if this may be the knife for you. All right, guys, so we're back, and basically what we're going to do is how we kind of finish off all our videos. Just going to run through. I'm going to start off with some of the Hinderer knives and compare this to it, just to give you guys an idea of size and see if it's something you might be interested in. If there's a knife you want to see it compared to, start off here. This is the 3.5-inch. So I try to always line them up about at the pivot. But if there's another knife you want to see them compared to, and we don't cover it here, put it in the notes below, or you can always follow us on Instagram at USA Made Blade and shoot me a note there. We do a lot of comparison pics there. So here's the Eclipse Gen 2. I pretty much have every Hinderer that they have out right now, or that we have in stock, every different type of model to show you. So this is the MP1. And sorry, you see my hands moving around in the backgrounds here, but got to get to them all. Here it is compared to the Jurassic. course, I always got to throw in a half track. This is a beautiful dog paw half track. So half track's just a little smaller. Half track's probably the closest you're going to get to it as far as overall size. And then we'll throw in, for good measure, a fire tack. And then let's move away from the Hinderer knives. And I wish I had a ZT-0566 to show you next to it, but unfortunately we're out of stock on those right now. But here's a ZT-0562, so still, this is the CF model, still a Hinderer design. The ZT-0450, that's about as close as it gets, boys and girls. 450 is a little slender, more slender in the handle. Show you. It's just a little less overall size in the handle, but pretty close in overall size. A little bit longer blade on the 0450 and longer handle. ZT-0609. They're pretty darn close. Get a little more blade. I think the blade length on the 609 is about 3.4, 3.3. So you get a little more blade out of that 609, but the handles are pretty close. Always got to throw in a Benchmade Griptilian. It is October, so let's show in one pink one here. Pink isn't showing up worth a damn, but I promise you that's pink, that's not white. So mini grip is a little smaller. Benchmade Nakamura 484-1, I believe. And that, I pulled this one out specifically because they are just right about the same size. And we're big Southern Grind fans here, so I always got to throw in a Spider Monkey. This happens to be a Spider Monkey with the Sasquatch on it. And then lastly is the Spyderco Paramilitary 3. Get a little more blade out of the, sorry, trying to get it lined up there. Get a little more blade out of the XM-18 3-inch, I think, but they're pretty close. So hopefully that helped you guys. As far as specs on these, blade length is 3 inches. They are 7 inches overall. Handles about 4 inches. Steel on all the new Hinderer models so far has been 20 CV, which is a fantastic steel. And they are 0.140 inch thick on the 3-inch models. So we do have these in stock over at usaMadeBlade.com, and I hope you'll go over there and check them out. And I hope you'll subscribe to us as well. But as always, we appreciate you watching.